Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This video is going to be a bit different because I haven't actually got anyone with me to film it. So it's basically probably going to be questions that I've been asked and then I'm going to answer them myself. So almost like a mini podcast, but it's not quite a podcast, if that makes sense. Stuff that I've put on my phone. Obviously, some of the questions were almost like, where do you live and all that, which I'm not going to announce. I already have announced that our house is in Norfolk, but that's as far as I'm going. I can't really do much more than that. Let me just dim that blind a bit. There we go. I do have them on my phone actually. I have a lamp on, so it's actually quite nice, but yeah. So, what part of the house are you working on at the moment? Now, these are the house renovation questions, and then I'll have a few personal questions on the side. So, the part of the house I am currently working on is nothing at the moment. No, it is. I am currently designing our, mum and dad's dressing room and bedroom, because we are switching them. So basically the mum's current bedroom is going to be a dressing room, and then mum's current dressing room is going to be her bedroom. So we're literally swapping them over. So I'm currently designing that. I will put a few pictures up on the screen of the designs we're going for mum's bedroom. So forgetting the dressing room at the moment, just going to do the bedroom. So yeah, that's a part we're working on at the moment. We're mainly working on stuff that doesn't need to be ripped out, if that makes sense. So stuff that almost, yeah, doesn't, like bathrooms and kitchens don't need to be ripped out. They do need to be ripped out, but we're not doing them quite yet. So we're kind of just focusing on the bedrooms, front room, hallways and stuff like that, just till mum and dad then think that they can do kitchens and bathrooms. Obviously I can design them, but I obviously can't make them or fit them, so that's kind of the downside. But yeah, I hope that answers your question. What's something you've learned that surprised you? Obviously I've only kind of painted at the moment. But I tell you something, painting is quite a hard kind of, painting's kind of a hard thing to do. You can't just put paintbrush on a wall. Now this is what I was telling my brother, because my brother painted his bedroom with my mum, and he rushed into it, and now because he's rushed into it, we need to redo it, because he literally just thought putting a paintbrush on a wall was easy. Now I painted this room myself, and this is currently my bedroom. Now I done this in Sulking Room Pink from Fire & Ball, and it's, I didn't actually use the Fire & Ball paint, but I used their colour, and it's almost like that wall kind of finish, so it's not matte, or it is matte, to be fair. Yeah, I would say it's matte. Sorry about the dog, by the way, if you can hear her. But yeah, painting I would say is the thing that surprised me, because I haven't actually obviously painted before, so putting a paintbrush and a roller on a wall was quite hard. Which tools have you been using? Now I don't use any tools, mostly for stuff that I do. Obviously like paintbrushes, drills sometimes to get blinds down. I tell you a hack though, if you get paint on like the sockets or something, you could literally just scrape the paint off with I use a flathead screwdriver, I find it quite easy, or a knife, to like scrape the paint off. Yeah, like one of the really blunt knives, so it doesn't scratch your sockets, but plastic sockets I use like flathead screwdrivers or something, because they are quite easy to use. So you just make sure like it's flat on the socket so you're not digging, and then just run it across the top of it, and it actually takes the paint off. So that's a hack for you. What does the room look like now compared with before? Oh, so I put the front room up with this pole. I will insert some clips of what it looked like before and then after. I did do a reel on my Instagram, so make sure you go follow that. But yeah, I'll make sure I put a reel in here for the before and after. But it was an Oxford stone before, so yeah, now it's brinjal by Farrow & Ball, and we've done a green olive colour by Little Green is what we've done the chimney breast, and now the mantelpiece is off black by Farrow & Ball. So kind of keeping all them colours in my head is quite hard. Okay, I actually like this question. What made you want to get involved in the renovation? Now, obviously, we're not doing a full renovation where we're ripping everything out and then starting again, because that would cost a lot of money, and it would, yeah, it'd take up so much time. And obviously, my mum and dad haven't got time to be doing a full renovation. We are literally just redoing every room, as in painting it, giving it a bit more character, and then obviously bathrooms, kitchens need to be ripped out. Compare in terms of like the like bedrooms and stuff, we're literally just painting them and putting new furniture in. So yeah, this room actually was a TV room. It was like a second front room. And it kind of, I want to say it didn't feel cosy because it was a bright colour. Now, I have probably said this in some of my vlogs or reels before, but I feel a front room needs to be cosy. It needs to have that warm, inviting feeling. So when you go into that room, you feel like you have like it feels warm, it feels like you can get in your pyjamas and sit down there and watch a movie, put the fire on. So that's also the reason we bought a house with a fire, so you can go into there. Obviously we made it a lot darker, even though that room has 2 windows, so it has a set of doors and then it has a window that's like here, and the window lets through a bit of light, whereas the door doesn't, because it's a conservatory, so it's quite closed in. But the window does let through a bit of light now and then, which, to be fair, is quite like a nice thing to have, because obviously it's such a dark room in the daytime as well. You almost need to put the lamps on, but with that bit of sunshine coming through your window, it almost makes it a bit more summer in the summer, because this window is above the front room window, so it's actually above the dining room window. I'm trying to think. So that, the window literally just be here. So yeah, above, between the dining room and the front room window I am. But yeah, that kind of making everything feel quite cosy in a front room. I actually didn't answer that question, did I? What made you want to get involved? What made me want to get involved? I see my mum painting our house before, and her going to paint shops, designing the colour, because it's literally not going to a paint shop, buying paint, putting it on a wall. It involves so much more than that, to make that room feel like it's yours as well. So yeah, I mean, I guess I just have different opinions on a lot of people, but kind of, I just wanted to see what it feels like. So this was my first room I ever designed, to see what that feels like, and to see putting a mood board together and getting loads of pictures together. I kind of fell in love with it straight away. And then when my mum said, when my mum said you can paint your own room, like, see how you get on, I painted it, and I tell you something, I enjoyed it so much. I fell in love with just the whole interior design thing. Not that I look like I paint, but I did actually paint this room all myself, apart from the ceiling. My mum done the ceiling. But in terms of the walls, that's what I done. So I know that was quite short, but I didn't get many questions through that one. But I will put another question box up, just to, yeah, see how it is. But I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.